Okay, so picture this. You're late, like really late for a meeting, right? And you're zipping through a parking garage and bam, no GPS signal.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
just circling floors and the frustration, like it's mounting. We've all been there, haven't we? But what if I told you there's this company and they're saying they've solved this, like for good?
That'd be uh, that'd be pretty impressive. I mean, I know I've definitely had my fair share of GPS frustrations.
Right. Well, that's where our deep dive takes a turn, a pretty fascinating turn. We're looking at this company, Tern AI, and their IDPS technology, which stands for, get this, independently derived positioning system.
Okay.
It's making some noise online, like a recent article on Daily. It's got like over 13,000 views already.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's the big deal, right? What's all the excited about?
Right.
Well, IDPS is it's being called like a potential game changer in the world of navigation. It promises accurate positioning anywhere, anytime, and get this, it doesn't even use those sometimes finicky GPS satellites.
Really? No GPS. That makes you wonder how could something even work without GPS?
Right. I know, and that is exactly what we're here to unpack. So, how does it actually work? How does IDPS work?
Well, think of it like this. Your car, it's already got all these sensors like accelerometers, gyroscopes. They track how the car moves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So IDPS takes that data, combines it with information from your smartphone, like compass readings,
Mm.
and it blends it all with pre-existing map information.
So it's kind of like your car is building its own like internal map as you drive, but with some help, a little help from your phone and like some existing knowledge of the roads.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, yeah. And the really cool part is that it starts working like the second your car starts moving. You don't have to wait for a satellite signal to lock on or anything.
Wow,
Makes it super responsive, very reliable right from the start.
that's amazing. It's fascinating, like how it uses technology that's already in most cars. But the article also mentioned something called adaptive weighing algorithms. What does that even
Oh,
mean?
okay. So imagine you're driving in a city, you've never been there before. You're going to be using like a bunch of cues, right, to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
Landmarks, street signs, maybe even your own sense of direction.
Right, right.
Well, adaptive weighing algorithms, it's similar to that. The system, it's constantly checking, adjusting how it understands where you are by weighing all these different data tunes, the sensor readings, map data, all the stuff from your phone, and it refines the calculations in real time.
So it's like having like a super smart co-pilot, right?
Yeah.
And they're constantly like cross-referencing everything to make sure you're on the right track.
Exactly. Yeah, precisely. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Unlike GPS, which needs, signals going back and forth to the satellites, IDPSC, it it operates in a closed loop. So no data is going out of your vehicle, which is a big plus for privacy.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's starting to sound like this IDPS might have some real advantages over traditional GPS. But before we get in all that, I have a question. Is this only for new cars, like the really high tech ones?
That's one of the most impressive things about it, actually. It's designed to work with vehicles as old as, get this, 2009.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
this wide compatibility, it makes it super accessible, and it means it could potentially be rolled out like on a huge scale.
That's amazing. So it's not limited to just the newest cars on the market.
Yeah.
But is it really better than GPS? I mean, GPS has been like the
Yeah.
gold standard for so long.
That's true, yeah. GPS has been the dominant technology, but it definitely has its limitations. And IDPS aims to overcome some of those limitations in a few key ways.
The article highlighted several advantages. Let's dive into those. First up, uh, first up, reliability. Tell me more about that.
Okay, well think about those times when your GPS signal just cuts out, right? In a tunnel, a dense urban area, it's so frustrating. Now imagine the consequences for emergency services in those situations.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah. With IDPS, those dead zones, they're a thing of the past. It gives you a much more robust and reliable solution for knowing where you are, no matter the environment.
So IDPS could be a game changer for like
Yeah.
ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, reliable navigation in those critical situations. It can be a matter of life and death, really. But it's not just about safety,
Yeah.
right? It's also about efficiency, convenience.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of efficiency, the article also mentioned cost effectiveness as a big advantage. Can you talk more about that?
Sure. So GPS, it needs a whole network of satellites, right? And those are really expensive to launch and maintain.
Yeah.
IDPS, though, it bypasses that whole infrastructure completely. It leverages technology that's already there in most vehicles, makes it much, much cheaper to implement and to scale up.
That makes a lot of sense. No need for all those expensive satellite systems. There's another advantage that really stood out to me though, and that's security. I was surprised to learn how vulnerable GPS is to like jamming and spoofing. What does IDPS offer in terms of security?
Yeah, that's a really crucial point, and it's one of the most significant advantages, I think, because the system is self-contained. It
Okay.
doesn't need external signals. It's just inherently more secure, and it's more resistant to those kinds of attacks. This is a huge benefit, especially for the military, for government applications where reliable and secure navigation is absolutely essential.
Right, right. Okay, so we've talked about how it works, how compatible it is with a lot of vehicles, and some of those key advantages over traditional GPS reliability, cost effectiveness, security. But let's shift gears a bit here. Let's bring this down to earth. How could IDPS actually impact our everyday lives? What are some real world examples?
Well, oh man, the possibilities are really exciting. I mean, imagine a world where your ride sharing app never loses track of your driver, no matter where they are. Or
Yeah.
picture your food delivery arriving right on time every time because the driver's navigation is spot on. Or think about how IDPS could like revolutionize parking.
Oh, I love that. I love the idea of never ever getting lost in a parking garage again.
Yeah.
The Daylead article it also mentioned smoother ride sharing and like enhanced logistics as potential benefits.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. More accurate location data could mean uh, optimized routes, reduced wait times, and just a seamless experience for
Yeah.
both the passengers and the drivers. And it's not just ride sharing. Think about improved package delivery, more efficient supply chains, even smarter traffic management systems in our cities.
This all sounds amazing. It seems
Yeah.
like IDPS could have this like ripple effect right across so many aspects of our lives,
Yeah.
making things more efficient, more convenient, and even safer. But is anyone actually using this yet? Is this just a cool concept or is it a reality?
It's more than just a concept, actually. In fact, the article mentioned that the U.S. Department of Transportation, they've already partnered with Tern AI to explore IDPS,
How
especially for its resilience against GPS
Yes,
disruption.
that's big. The government getting involved is definitely a sign that this technology is being taken seriously.
Yeah, it is, and it doesn't stop there. Tern AI is also they're in talks with some major players in the tech and transportation industries, companies like Google and Uber.
Oh wow! Could you imagine IDPS like integrated into Google Maps
Hmm.
or the Uber app? That would be
Yeah.
incredible.
It's definitely possible. And to add even more credibility, IDPS recently it won a CES Innovation Award. So the tech world is definitely taking notice of this groundbreaking technology.
Okay, so we've gone from those frustrating moments of GPS failure to a potential future where location services are more reliable, more affordable, and more secure. This all sounds incredibly promising, but
But there's always a but, isn't there?
exactly, it's easy to get caught up in all the excitement of a new technology, but we also have to think about the potential implications. Could there be any downsides to a world where our location data is even more accurate and even more accessible?
That's a great point, and it's a question that we'll explore in more detail in the next part of our deep dive.
We were just talking about the potential downsides of a world with even more accurate and accessible location data. It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is, yeah. While IDPS offers some incredible benefits, it's really important to think about the implications, especially when it comes to privacy.
Yeah, yeah. I can see where you're going with this. I mean, GPS already, tracks our movements to a certain extent, but the IDPS could potentially give an even more like granular level of detail, right?
Exactly. Think about it. Like GPS might, know what city you're in, but IDPS could pinpoint your exact location, like within a building, down to the specific floor or even a room.
Wow. That level of precision is
Hmm.
pretty mind-blowing, but it also like It also raises some serious questions about how that data might be used. Could this technology lead to like increased surveillance or
Yes.
tracking of individuals?
It's a valid concern for sure. I mean, imagine a world where your every move is not only tracked but also like analyzed and maybe even shared with third parties.
Yeah. I can see how that could be unsettling for some people. What about data security? Is there a risk that this information could be hacked or misused?
Anytime you're dealing with personal data, security is a huge concern. And while, IDPS is designed with privacy in mind, it's absolutely crucial to make sure there are really strong security measures in place to protect that data from unauthorized access or breaches.
Yeah. So there are definitely some legitimate concerns that need to be addressed as this technology, develops. It's a good reminder that every technological advancement it comes with both opportunities and challenges.
Absolutely. And it's so important to have these conversations now while the technology is still in its early stages so we can shape its development in a responsible and ethical way.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to remember that we as individuals, we have a role to play in this too. We need to be aware of how our data is being used and make informed choices about what we're comfortable sharing.
I completely agree. Being informed, being engaged, it's crucial. We need to understand the potential implications of these technologies and we need to advocate for policies that protect our privacy and our security.
Okay. So we've talked about the incredible potential of IDPS and we've talked about some of the potential downsides, but
Yeah.
but I'm curious, what do you think the long-term impact of this technology might be? How could it reshape our relationship with location data and navigation in the future?
That's a great question. It's hard to predict the future with any certainty, but I think it's safe to say that IDPS has the potential to really revolutionize the way we think about location.
In what ways?
Well, for starters, it could make us, less reliant on GPS, which, as we've discussed, has its limitations. Imagine a world where seamless, accurate navigation is available everywhere, no matter the signal strength, no matter the environmental conditions.
That would certainly change things. What other possibilities do you see?
Well, think about the potential impact on industries like transportation, logistics, even urban planning.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
with more precise and reliable location data, we could optimize traffic flow, improve delivery efficiency, and even design smarter, more connected cities.
It's amazing to think about the ripple effect that this technology could have. It's not just about getting from point A to point B anymore. It's about creating a more efficient, a more connected, and hopefully a safer world.
Exactly. And let's not forget the potential for innovation as IDPS becomes, more widely adopted. It could spark the development of entirely new applications and services that we haven't even thought of yet.
It's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
It is, and I think it's important to approach this with a sense of both excitement and caution. We need to embrace the potential benefits, but also be mindful of the potential risks.
Yeah, well said. I think this deep dive has really highlighted the importance of staying informed about these technological advancements. It's not
Yeah.
just about understanding the tech itself. It's about understanding the potential impact on our lives, on our world, both positive and negative.
Absolutely. We need to be active participants in shaping the future, not just passive consumers of technology.
So to our listener, we encourage you to think about this. How would IDPS affect your life? Are you excited about the possibilities, or do you have concerns? What kind of future do you want to see with this technology?
These are questions worth pondering for sure. Technology is a powerful tool, and it's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
This has been a fascinating deep dive from those initial moments of GPS frustration to potential revolution in location services. We've covered a lot of
And
ground.
we've only scratched the surface. The development and the adoption of IDPS, it's just beginning, and it'll be really interesting to see how it unfolds in the coming years.
I have a feeling this won't be the last time we talk about Tern AI and their groundbreaking technology.
I agree. Yeah, this is a story worth following closely.
And with that, we've reached the end of another deep dive.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up completely, we wanted to leave you with one final thought, something to ponder. Yeah, it's fascinating how IDPS it isn't just like some cool new gadget. It really makes us think about our relationship with location data, like in general.
It really does. We've gotten so used to GPS tracking, sharing where we are on social media, seeing those personalized ads based on where we go. It's almost become like second nature to us.
Right, right. It's just like it's just faded into the background of our lives. But IDPS brings it all like back into focus. It makes us ask
Yeah.
how much location data is too much? Who should be able to access it, and how can we make sure it's used ethically,
Hmm.
responsibly?
Those are some big questions. And there's no easy answer, no one size fits all. It's a conversation we need to be having as a society.
And I think it's also a chance for us to think about our own choices. As individuals, do we always need to share our location? Are there times when we'd rather, have a little more privacy? These are things worth thinking about.
For sure. It's about finding that balance,
Right.
right? Between the convenience and the benefits of all these location-based services and our right to privacy, our right to control our own data.
Very well said. And I think that's a perfect note to end on. As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this thought. The future of location technology, it's being written right now.
Yeah.
And your voice matters. Stay informed, ask questions, and be part of the conversation. The choices we make today, they're going to shape the world we live in tomorrow.
I couldn't agree more. And remember, there's always more to explore, more to learn, more to discuss. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the fascinating world of emerging tech.
Until then, keep diving deep and stay curious.